Hey there, I know a ton of people at this time of year who like to cook with as minimal ingredients as possible, just to make dinner as easy as possible. So today I will be sharing 5 new family favorite dinners that only have about 3 ingredients in them. These dinners are so easy to make, but they are so good. I hope you enjoy it, and let's go get started. I really love this one, so to start us off today, we are making this one pot easy sausage pasta shells. So to my large pot on the stove, I'm adding in 1 pound of Italian sausage. You could use any type or any brand of sausage you like. Break the sausage up and cook it through at this point. Then once your sausage is cooked through, just remove any excess grease from your pot. Now add in a dash of salt and pepper and about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. For the pasta, I am of course using pasta shells, and I used about 10 ounces. Next, add in a 24-ounce jar of marinara sauce, and then fill the jar up with water and give it a shake, and then add that water in. It's about 3 cups of water total. Give this a stir, and then you are going to let this simmer covered for about 10 to 16 minutes. You do want to stir it occasionally just so the pasta doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot and burn. But once the pasta is tender, you could serve this up. Here's my plate of food. I topped mine with a little bit of fresh basil and Parmesan cheese. This is so delicious and very easy to make. And if you didn't want to use sausage for this recipe, you could always use ground beef or ground turkey as a substitute, or you could always leave the meat out. Now we're making this chicken and cheese bubble up casserole, and I really think this one will surprise you. So to begin, you're going to want to cube up 2 large chicken breasts. Over to the pan on my stove, I'm adding in a tablespoon of olive oil. Once my oil is hot, I added the cubed chicken right in there. Then you'll want to season the chicken, so I'm seasoning it with a dash of pepper and salt, then a teaspoon of onion powder, paprika, garlic powder, and then a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Cook the chicken for about 3 minutes. You don't want the chicken completely cooked through, just partially cooked through. And then after the 3 minutes of cooking, add in 1 10-ounce bag of frozen broccoli with cheese sauce. You do want to make sure it's the broccoli with the cheese sauce, just because it does make a huge difference in this recipe. It will make this recipe super cheesy and delicious. Let this cook covered for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally until the chicken is completely cooked through. Now I'm going to set this to the side. We're going to work on the biscuits now. So to my cutting board, I am just going to cube up a can of biscuits. I'm using the flaky layered biscuits, and then spread them out on a greased 9x13 baking dish. Now I'm adding the chicken with the broccoli and the cheese all over the top. This will bake in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until the biscuits are nice and golden brown on the top. I'll be the first to admit this is not the most glamorous dinner in the world, but I could assure you this is absolutely so delicious. The combination of the chicken and the broccoli with the cheese sauce and the biscuits, all of that together is just so super duper good. This meal is also very affordable. Now we're making this Italian Parmesan chicken with my super popular mashed potatoes that my whole family loves. So to begin, into a large gallon-sized Ziploc bag, you're going to want to add in about 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Next, you're going to want to add in 1 packet of zesty Italian dressing mix, so just one of the packets that comes in that little box. After you add those 2 ingredients in, zip the bag up and give this a shake to kind of combine the 2 ingredients together. Now you're going to want to add in your chicken breasts into that bag. So I'm using 4 chicken breasts, but you could use between 3 to 5 chicken breasts. Just add them in and give this a really good shake to coat the chicken in the Parmesan and that seasoning. It really can't get any easier than this. Now grab a sheet pan and spray the sheet pan with oil spray, then place the chicken breasts right onto the sheet pan. And then if you have any remaining Parmesan/Italian seasoning mixture in your bag, you could sprinkle some of it on the top of the chicken breasts. Then spray the top of the chicken with a little bit of oil spray, just so the tops get nice and crispy. Then bake this in a preheated oven to 350 degrees for about 35 minutes. And while this is baking away, I am going to make my popular mashed potatoes. These are like my go-to favorite mashed potatoes on the stove. So I have about 7 golden potatoes right here. I peeled them and diced them. If you want, you could use russet potatoes as a substitute for these golden ones, but I just really like how creamy these golden potatoes turn out. So boil these potatoes until they're fork tender, about 15 minutes. And then once they are fork tender, strain the potatoes and then set the potatoes to the side. In the same pot that we cooked the potatoes in, add about 4 tablespoons of butter right into that pot. Also add in a tablespoon of minced garlic and our seasonings. All of these seasonings really amp up this recipe. 2 teaspoons of dried rosemary, 3 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, and give this a stir and let the butter melt down. Once the butter has melted down, add the potatoes that we cooked up back into the pot along with 1 cup of milk. Mash the potatoes up right now and just watch these become the best mashed potatoes that you have ever made. I kind of made up this recipe last year and we have just been loving it since. And just look at that beautiful crust on the top of those chicken breasts. That chicken is super juicy on the inside, but the outside, because of that like Parmesan cheese mixture, it really does have a nice crust. It's super flavorful. I did serve it with our mashed potatoes that we made up and a side salad with spring mix tomatoes and onions. And then I did use this Primal Kitchen Greek dressing. I've really been liking it recently. It has good flavor. This one is for all of my lower carb friends out there. We are making these lower carb mozzarella stuffed sausages. I have 1 pound of Italian sausage links right here. I'm using the mild flavor, but you could use hot if you like things spicier, or you could use sweet sausage, really any type of Italian sausage you like. Slice each sausage length in half lengthwise down the middle. This is kind of going to create like a pocket in the middle of each sausage, and then we are going to be placing our mozzarella sticks down the middle. So I'm just using these simple like string cheese mozzarella sticks, but you could use any type of cheese you really like. I do recommend using mozzarella though. Just place the cheese sticks in the middle and then kind of like squeeze the sausage just a little bit so the cheese stick doesn't fall out. I have an 8x8 baking dish right here. I'm going to spray the baking dish with nonstick spray just for easy cleanup in the end. Pour about 1/2 cup of marinara sauce down and then spread that marinara sauce out. This will help the sausage not stick to the bottom of the pan. And then place the sausages down and then pour about 1/2 cup more marinara sauce on top of the sausages. Bake this in a preheated oven to 375 degrees for about 35 minutes. Once the sausage was cooked through, I served this up. I served ours over steamed broccoli, but you could also serve this over egg noodles, cauliflower rice, or in a hoagie roll. That would be really good. I know there's a bunch of complicated teriyaki chicken recipes out there, but this one is easy and only has 3 ingredients. We love it. To begin, just cube up about 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Over to the pan on my stove, I added in a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I added our chicken thighs right in there. Season the chicken with a dash of pepper and salt. Now you're going to want to cook the chicken on each side for about 4 to 5 minutes or until the chicken is completely cooked through. And if you're wondering if you can use chicken breasts as a substitute for the chicken thighs, you certainly can. I just like chicken thighs for this recipe because they are a little bit more juicy. Now I'm adding in 1/4 cup of brown sugar and 1/3 cup of low sodium soy sauce. Let this simmer together for a few minutes just to let that sauce thicken up. I did serve this alongside of jasmine rice, and I do get questions, people asking me how I make my jasmine rice. I like to do it in my Instant Pot, so So I add in a tablespoon of olive oil, 1 cup of uncooked rinsed jasmine rice, then a cup and a half of water. I press the rice button and then that is all I do. It's simple, easy, and the rice comes out perfect. But here is my chicken. Now that the sauce has thickened, you could serve it up now. We served ours with a little bit of sesame seeds over the top. This chicken is like sticky teriyaki chicken. It is like the perfect teriyaki chicken. You have to make this one. I hope you found something for yourself today, and I would really love to have you over here, so make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.